It's another Thursday, and you are at the right place at the right time to get information on issues of national interest. The program is Jamaica Magazine, and I am Adrian Atkinson. Our COVID-19 numbers continue to trend downward, which is good as the country tries to get back to a normal way of life. Still, let's keep our guards up and apply the personal safety measures. It's time to head over to our news desk for the top stories of the day.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, April 7, 2022. Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahoo Ford is assuring Jamaicans that government is moving carefully and steadfastly towards transitioning Jamaica away from a constitutional monarchy. However, the minister says this will not happen in time for the country's 60th independence anniversary celebrations in August, given the constitutional processes that have to be followed. She gave the update during yesterday's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House, pointing out that the Constitution sets out its own processes for amendment, from which lawmakers cannot deviate.
The commitment of the Prime Minister to transition Jamaica away from a constitutional monarchy is one that will be kept. We have to go through a constitutional process to achieve the goal of moving Jamaica from a constitutional monarchy to a republic, and in Jamaica we have constitutional supremacy. Whatever we do must be in accordance with the Constitution.
Minister Malahoo Ford says areas of importance and concern include the makeup of the Jamaican Parliament, which comprises the Queen, the House of Representatives, and the Senate, as well as the executive powers of the Queen. These are deeply entrenched provisions which require a two-thirds majority vote from members of both houses of Parliament, as well as a referendum for change. In addition, the Constitution requires a 3-month period between the date an amendment bill is tabled in the House and the commencement of the debate. At the conclusion of the debate, another 3-month period is required before the bill can be passed in the House.
We're not at the stage of drafting instruction as yet. I have completed my assessment of the deeply entrenched reform issues. The process has to be carefully sequenced.
Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett says Jamaica has been named as one of the world's fastest recovering countries and the Caribbean's fastest growing tourist destination. While opening the 2022-2023 sectoral debate on Tuesday, the minister credited that achievement to the strategies and policies the government put in place to contain the COVID-19 pandemic, especially within our resilient corridors.
The resilient corridors, Madam Speaker, which cover most of the island's tourism region, allowed visitors to experience more of the country's distinctive offerings, as many COVID-19 compliant sites across and along the corridors have been approved by our health authorities for visits.
Minister Bartlett says since the reopening of the tourism industry in June 2020, the procedures regulating the resilient corridors have kept guests and workers safe, causing Jamaica to become one of the most sought-after destinations. He adds that the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, classification of Jamaica at level 1 on its COVID-19 threat level system is a further boost to the tourism sector. The minister says work will continue with the Tourism Vaccination Task Force to ensure the continued vaccination for sector workers. In the meantime, $2 billion will be invested to bring 8,500 new hotel rooms to the local tourism offerings over the next 5 years. Portfolio Minister Edmund Bartlett says this will result in the creation of at least 24,000 part-time and full-time jobs for building contractors, engineers, project managers, and other specialists, and at least 12,000 jobs for construction workers. While many properties in Hanover, St. Anne, and St. James are currently under construction, plans are also underway for the Viva Windham Resort north of Negril, the new Rio Hotel in Trelawney, a new Secret Resort in Richmond, St. Anne, and expansion of Bahia Principe.
Madam Speaker, this will be the largest wave of tourism development and expansion in the history of Jamaica. Madam Speaker, we are satisfied that notwithstanding the COVID disruptions, the investment climate in Jamaica remains strong and buoyant, and the appetite to invest in Jamaica is very strong.
To keep this momentum, he says the ministry continues to work closely with JAMPRO, which is currently developing a national business portal where investors will be able to apply for all relevant government licenses and permits for investment projects. Jamaica's remittance inflows exceeded $3.3 billion for 2021, an increase over the $2.9 billion for 2020. Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister of State, Senator Leslie Campbell, revealed the figures at the Global Diaspora Summit in Dublin, Ireland, recently. He says the increase in remittances during the pandemic is a strong testament of commitment on the part of Jamaica's diaspora community. While acknowledging that the flow of remittances provide relief to strained household budgets, he says the ministry will support efforts that promote financial literacy for migrants and the recipients of these transfers to enhance volume, management, and development impact of these remittances. And finally, the Ministry of Health and Wellness will be putting more focus on mental health in its post-pandemic recovery plan. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton gave that commitment as he addressed last Sunday's Thanksgiving church service to mark the start of the fiscal year for the ministry. The service was held at the Boulevard Baptist Church in St. Andrew.
Mental health has been a real challenge over the past 2 years, largely linked to the responses to the COVID pandemic: isolation, loneliness, anxiety, the non-clinical measures that have created significant uncertainty to our population.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Without a doubt, tourism is Jamaica's #1 industry, and our dedicated workers are its greatest asset. Jamaica would not be the heartbeat of the world without you. As the industry rebounds from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, we truly need all hands on deck, yours included. Vaccination holds the hope for tourism's full recovery. In addition to COVID-19 protocols, it is the only comprehensive way to fight the pandemic and save lives. I am therefore urging every worker in the tourism and hospitality industry, in all the subsectors, including accommodation, attractions, entertainment, transportation, and craft, to do your part and get vaccinated. Do it for yourself, your family, your workplace, and your community. Do it for Jamaica, land we love. Stay safe. Get vaccinated.
In our first feature today, we help you to understand the role of the Urban Development Corporation, the UDC, in its stewardship of the environment.
Environmental management and monitoring are core responsibilities the Urban Development Corporation UDC carries out in protected areas in Negril, Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, Helsha Hills, part of Portland Bight, Port Royal, and Palisados. As such, the corporation is committed to mitigating negative impacts on our natural resources through monitoring and enforcement by 6 environmental protection officers.
When we speak about natural resources, the simplest thing to think about is the environment and everything that it entails. So the plants, the animals, we're looking at the soil, the water, all different aspects of it that all interrelate, and also how the people interact with it.
To reinforce its conservation measures, the UDC carries out sound environmental planning and monitoring, management of protected areas, as well as environmental education and outreach programs.
So we carry out monitoring either on a monthly or a quarterly basis. This gives us an idea of what the impact of anything that we're doing to the natural resources.
Some of these interventions involve bringing internal and external stakeholders together to carry out various activities to commemorate days that bring awareness to different areas of the environment.
Our largest activity to date has been International Coastal Cleanup Day. We have it in Helsha, and we did collect a substantial amount of plastics and other garbage.
The conservation program is also extended to the critically endangered sea turtles.
So in St. Anne's in particular, we have started a program of monitoring the nests, seeing when they occur, ensuring that they're safeguarded while they are there, and then enable the hatchlings to be able to return to sea. So far in the last 3 years, we've had a very successful program. We've had over 2,000 heartbeat turtles returning to the sea.
A similar program is being carried out with the Jamaican iguana, another endangered species that is found in the Helsha Hills area.
Young hatchlings are carried to the Hope Zoo, which they are nurtured until they get to a certain size and weight, and then they are returned to the wild. This is supposed to give them a competitive advantage against predators.
And did you know?
At the Green Gutter Caves, we actually have 11 out of the 21 species of bat that are found in Jamaica. So what we do is monitor the caves to ensure that the habitat is safe and suitable for the bats.
We also monitor to see what's going on with the crocodile. So for now, we look at the nest, we also look at the birds that are around, and to see how everybody is doing. So it's like we have a big ecosystem.
NEPA delegated the UDC with management authority over the Helsha Hills in 1999, so that's another way in which we collaborate, and most recently an MOU to develop the Goat Islands.
Since then, the corporation has been working with stakeholders and other users of the area to carefully balance the development of urban settlements with the delicate ecology of the area.
For our non-governmental partners, one of our major partners is CCAM, which is the Caribbean Coastal Area Management Foundation. And with them, we partner in managing the Portland Bight area, which is the largest protected area in Jamaica.
I'd urge persons who are visiting and living within the boundaries of the protected area to not dispose of their garbage in irresponsible ways, because they eventually get to the marine environment.
The corporation ensures that it remains compliant with national and international environmental policies, legislations, and regulations by conducting monthly and quarterly checks of all its facilities and attractions. This is to ensure that these facilities are constantly at the required standard for safe use by patrons.
So the UDC also sits on the Beaches Control Committee, as well as the National Council of Ocean and Coastal Zone Management Committee, both of which are responsible for creating national policies relating to the conservation of the coastal zone across Jamaica.
The Urban Development Corporation, achieving sustainable development within the corporation's designated areas by creating a balance between development and management of natural resources. A prime example is the soon-to-be implemented Goat Island Wildlife Sanctuary. To learn more about the work of the Urban Development Corporation, call 876-656-8031 or visit their website at udcja.com. You may also follow them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit their information center on the ground floor, Kingston Mall, downtown Kingston.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your eat.
Keep the island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
Did you know there are 4 ways through which a non-national may be granted citizenship in Jamaica? You can be a descendant or become a citizen by way of marriage, naturalization, or registration. Let's break down these processes.
Welcome to this, our citizenship swearing-in ceremony. As of today, when asked what is your nationality, they can proudly say, I am Jamaican.
It feels good, it just feels good, to be a Jamaican today.
I'm Charles Opara, originally from Nigeria, but now I'm a Jamaican.
I'm here for 10 years. And today is a milestone, it's a great day. I feel great inside. And I'm looking forward for a greater things to happen.
This step you have taken shows that how much you have embraced Jamaica as your new home. And we look forward to you joining the fold to help us to build our great country with your continued contribution and commitment to Jamaica's growth and development. As Jamaicans know, you have the rights and privileges of any person who is born in Jamaica. Respect it and treat it well.
So how does a person become a Jamaican citizen? The process is either by descendant, marriage, naturalization, or registration. But first, you need to fill out an application form and submit it with all the required supporting documents to the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA. Granting citizenship through descendant means the person has to be an offspring of a Jamaican. The applicant must produce evidence to support this claim.
Then we would review the lineage to ensure that not only that your documents are authentic, but there is really a relationship between you and that Jamaican that you claim to be your foreparent.
If the process is done by way of marriage, the foreign national has to be married to a Jamaican. Commonwealth nationals usually apply through the registration process, and they would have to be living in Jamaica continuously for 5 years. Registration is also done for persons who are born in Jamaica but were not registered at the Registrar General's Department. As for naturalization, a similar accumulated number of 5 years are required for non-Commonwealth citizens who have satisfied the residential requirements and is of good background. Careful assessment is done on each application.
If when we conduct our due diligence, we find that you are unsuitable to be incorporated in the fabric of Jamaica, meaning that you have a bad criminal background, meaning that you are likely to become a nuisance or any of that sort, then the minister who has the responsibility to confer citizenship has the right to say no.
This person is the Minister of National Security.
The minister has the right to refuse an application on the basis of marriage if you have committed an offense for which you were sentenced for more than 2 years. And the same thing for registration and naturalization. We look in your background to see what kind of person are you, what kind of contribution you would be now making should citizenship be granted.
PICA also collaborates with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to verify information.
With the Ministry of Labour, we work together to ensure that you who come to us for registration as a Commonwealth citizen or naturalization and you are employed, that you are properly operating under the Work Permit Act. So there is no breach of any law for the persons who are considered. They must be good citizens from the start.
And now that their citizenship is official,
I'm lost for words. It feels good. It feels good, excited. You make you feel like, well, you accomplished something, you're there, it's official now, You could say it in your mind that you're a Jamaican, but now you have the official proofs that I'm a Jamaican,
Today marks a very important day in my life, in the sense that for the past 9 years I've been living and working for the government and people of Jamaica. They have accepted me, having applied for the citizenship, and now I feel at home, fully relaxed, that I can now be with them in the land we love.
I always have a passion for Jamaica. It's like my home. There's something like a DNA connection with Jamaica.
As a resident, I have always tried to better my community, my neighborhood. As a citizen, I will aim at helping out and taking care of this paradise with all the resources at my disposal.
These persons are a representation of the Vision 2030 for Jamaica, which is Jamaica should be the place of choice for people to live, work, raise family, and do business.
We're now heading over to the University Hospital of the West Indies to see how it's being transformed into a world-class healthcare facility.
Jamaicans and other people from the Caribbean region, indeed visitors from around the world who may require cardiovascular treatment and care, can expect the best right here at home. The government of Jamaica has been on a mission to retool and modernize the health sector. The University Hospital of the West Indies is among the health facilities undergoing transformational changes to keep abreast of the latest in healthcare technologies.
What we want to deliver to the people of Jamaica is a state-of-the-art facility that will enable us to provide all healthcare needs of our citizens.
It's important that as a country, we are able to provide that advanced and higher level of care that is needed when some of the most complex medical conditions requiring expertise present to us.
In keeping with the hospital's strategic plan and vision, several new developments have been taking place. Among them is the establishment of a cardiovascular interventional suite with state-of-the-art equipment. The suite of equipment cost $2 million, while another $51.5 million Jamaican dollars was spent on construction and infrastructure improvement.
This is an indication of a desire to keep pace with advances in the technology that's around to ensure the delivery of quality care.
The project, which began in 2018, was established through a partnership involving the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Culture, Health, Arts, Sports and Education, Chase Fund, and the National Health Fund, as well as international partners, Philips International and International MedX.
It's an amazing achievement. We should be, in a very consistent way, strive to always be on the cutting edge, given our mandate as a regional body to deal with the capacity building mandate that we have.
This modern facility, now available at the University Hospital, enables specialist clinicians to perform minimally invasive tests and procedures to diagnose and treat some of the most complex cardiac and vascular interventional cases.
We have what we call the biplane or dual interventional suite, but what we have done is combine that with echocardiogram within the same suite or an ultrasound. We also have within that suite what we call an anesthetic machine or ventilator that can put the patient to sleep. And we have continuous ECG monitoring. So the combination of equipment combined with the most important, certainly the interventional, the dual biplane system, allows us a wider range of diagnosis and treatment for the patient with the highest degree of accuracy.
It is a multidisciplinary suite. As such, it is equipped for cardiologists, interventional radiologists, vascular surgeons, and cardiothoracic surgeons. Hospital administrators are targeting a gamut of procedures to be performed routinely in the amount of about 50 cases per week. Most are expected to be patients affected by various heart conditions.
But they also come with diseases of the brain, possible strokes, possible abnormalities of the vessels in the brain. They also come with abnormalities of the peripheral vasculature, blockages in the legs, difficulties in the aorta. And so really a lot of the care will speak to cardiac disease, vascular disease.
The suite also has the capacity to deal with conditions such as renal disease and cancers. A number of emergency procedures were among the first set of cases dealt with after the facility went operational in the first half of 2019.
We have done coronary angiograms, we have done percutaneous coronary interventions with stenting, and we've done cerebral angiograms, looking at the vessels to the brain. We have done aortic stenting.
These and other procedures taken on at the interventional suite are making a mark on efforts to tackle the monster of non-communicable diseases and indeed saving lives.
A third of all deaths in Jamaica, between 18 and 20,000 deaths, die from cardiovascular disease. The Health and Lifestyle Survey says that 1 in 3 Jamaicans are hypertensive, which speaks directly to this kind of condition or series of conditions which requires an intervention suite. Nearly 50% of those who are hypertensive are unaware that they are. And it's clear that we have the human capacity to do a lot.
Opportunities also created from this interventional suite for the UHWI's Faculty of Medical Sciences to not only teach, but also put all the innovative healthcare theories into practice.
Looking at the intervention suite in operation, you'll recognize it immediately as a microcosm of what we're trying to achieve in the Faculty of Medical Sciences. If you see the unit in operation, every peg knows its particular hole, and it is working like a machine.
As the funders of healthcare in many instances, we are willing and able to support projects that add value. And I'm confident that this is indeed a very good project. So we at the NHF, we are committed to partnerships, and this one really has led to a good outcome.
It doesn't end there. The blueprint for further development at the hospital has in its design its first 6-story tower, as well as other technologies to come, including upgrading of its MRI suite and the delivery of PET imaging.
We're taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
I am Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice. The plea bargain legislation has been passed. Many persons charged with serious crimes are spending several years behind bars. It did not have to happen. Accept responsibility for your wrongdoing. Get a lighter sentence. Watch your children grow. Please, don't gamble with your future.
A message from the Ministry of Justice.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll bring another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.